There's currently a challenger with over 1,000 LP who's only playing Camille support. Literally, no one even knows this pick exists, as it has a 0.05% play rate in the entire world, yet it's completely overpowered. In this video, you'll uncover the 5 hidden off-meta picks that are stomping challenger ranks across the world. Trust me, you're gonna want to watch this one until the end, as these picks are truly mind-blowing. But real quick, if you're feeling stuck where you just can't rank up, then Skill Capped is the solution you've been looking for. We have the most extensive collection of premium courses tailored for every role. The best part, you can try out our service completely risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using Skill Capped, you get your money back, no questions asked. So click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, now starting us off, there's the 1000 LP challenger in the North American server who's only playing Camille support and absolutely stomping games with a 57% win rate. Their in-game name is Imi. And here's the thing, in the past 2 weeks, Camille support has only been played 3,866 times in the entire world. That's 0.05% of all games. That's the true definition of off-meta, as to put that into context, the most popular champions have been in over 1 million games in the past 2 weeks, so this is truly a hidden gem. At the start of the game, they skill E and wait in the lane brush. Once they see the enemy ADC out of position, they E them to stun them. They take Hail of Blades as their keystone, so they then land 3 quick auto attacks. And as you can see, this basically wins them the lane immediately. The key throughout the laning phase is to wait for your passive to come off cooldown, as this will give you a massive shield when you basic attack an enemy, allowing you to E onto them, land your 3 Hail of Blade auto attacks while tanking a ton of damage with your shield. And the range of Camille's E is insane, so it makes these engages really consistent and easy to pull off. Now, if you're stuck having to give a leash, that's okay. You just make sure to hide in a brush at level 1 and look to land your E stun and 3 auto attacks into backing off. A mechanic that is key to making this work involves using flash. When you're in the second part of your E animation, you can actually flash to redirect the stun in a new location, allowing you to hit both priority targets and multiple enemies at once. When your shield passive and Hail of Blades is on cooldown, you just look to land poke with W, which also heals you if you land it. Then again, once everything is back up, you look to land and engage on their ADC. If you do, you pretty much always win the trade. And even if you go even, once an enemy is low, they'll always be vulnerable to just being bursted down by your combo from that point forward. In fact, once you hit level 3 and have access to all 3 abilities, you actually do an insane amount of damage, able to burst down any squishy champions in lane from full health. Her E stun has great synergy with ADCs that can chain their utility off it, like Jhin W, Caitlyn traps, etc., as it means the target will be permanently CC'd. Now, if you thought her laning was powerful, her roaming is next level. Her E covers so much distance, while also being a stun. Her W being a slow, and just the sheer damage she can do, makes her ganks very consistent when she roams. So you always want to be on the lookout for opportunities to roam mid, even before level 6, as this is one of her main strengths. That being said, once she hits 6, she becomes so much stronger, with her R making it so enemies can't escape. Her ability to gank and make picks becomes insane. This is a core part of her strategy. Even if you don't land your E stun, you can just R the opponent, and often that's enough to guarantee the takedown. The sheer amount of distance you can cover with your E into R makes it near impossible for squishy champions to stay safe. There are 2 variations of this to be aware of though. First, if an enemy is close enough, you can R first. Then once they're trapped, it's easier for you to land your E to guarantee the stun and damage. What's amazing though is she's not just a CC bot, she actually does so much damage. Often you'll be able to literally 1v1 the enemy ADC if you can catch them out, which very few supports can do. And her scaling is insane, essentially becoming just as powerful as a top lane Camille, so you can expect to see massive bursts from her Q's true damage as the game progresses. Now for the build, you take Flash Ignite for summoner spells. In runes, you take Hail of Blades along with some defensive runes to help you sustain in lane. You want to take E level 1, W level 2, and Q level 3. You then max Q first, E second, and W last, with a point in your ultimate when you can. For items, you start Spectral Scythe into every matchup unless you're facing heavy poke, then you take Steel Shoulder Guards instead. The core build is Divine Sunderer, Plated Steel Caps, and Steric's Gauge. These items will give you all the damage you need while still giving you enough tankiness that you don't just get one shot. Now, since you're support, it's rare to have enough gold to get more items than this, but if you do, a full build should look something like this. Next, moving from a top lane champion play to support, we have a jungler being played as a top laner. It's Master Yi Top, and there's currently a player in Korea who's Grandmaster 735 LP with a 57% win rate. In the past 2 weeks, Master Yi has only been played top in 0.21% of all games in the world. That's only 14,906 games, a very hidden pick. And this is the kind of off-meta pick that just stomps lower elo brackets. At level 1, you want to camp this brush, hoping to catch the enemy top laner laner coming back to lane. The reason for this is you basically beat every champion at level 1, so you can just Q them. Meanwhile, your passive will let you auto attack twice every 3 attacks. This combines with your lethal tempo keystone to just outtrade everyone at this level. You can basically just look for any opportunities to trade with the enemy early on, as long as you make sure to weave in as many auto attacks as you can. Your ideal wave state is to have it as close to your tower as possible, so you have a ton of room to run down the enemy landing auto attacks. And this rundown just gets even worse once you hit level 6, as your ultimate will give you more movement speed and attack speed to make it even easier. One of Yi Top's biggest strengths is his ability to tower dive though. His Q resets tower aggro, so as you can see here, you can actually trade under tower, then just position your Q so you come out of it outside of the tower, avoiding tower shots and coming out ahead. This lets you get enemies low when they're playing safe under tower and sets them up to being tower dove shortly after, again making sure to hold your Q to dodge tower shots. The snowball is ridiculous, as once you're far enough ahead, you can literally just stat check enemies under tower with nothing but your ultimate, auto attacks, and Q. In team fights, it's just like playing regular Master Yi. You wait for your teammates to engage and for the enemy to waste spells and get low or isolated, and then pick your time to jump in and clean up the fight with cooldown resets off takedowns. For the build, you take Flash Teleport. In runes, you take a standard lethal tempo page with some extra defensive stacks secondary. For skill order, take Q level 1, then E level 2, and W level 3, then max E first, Q second, and W last, taking points in your ult whenever you can. Your starting items are always Doran's Blade and a health pot. You want to rush a Blade of the Ruined King into Steel Caps, then Wit's End, Rage Blade into Guardian Angel. Last item is completely situational, but the highest ranked player often builds Ma in this slot. Next up, we have support LeBlanc, who's being played by a 603 LP Grandmaster player in North America. Less than a month ago, this player was actually Challenger using only this pick. Their in-game name is Suffix, and in the past 2 weeks, LeBlanc support has only been played 29,642 times in the entire world. That's a measly 0.42% of all games. For level 1, you use a very unique strategy. You start a Spell Thief's Edge, but don't buy anything else and save the remaining money. You then go out and either look to land a chain if you're invading with your team, or skill W so you can land 3 auto attacks on an enemy. Your Spell Thief's Edge will give you 20 gold for each auto attack, and this gives you enough gold to now recall and buy a refillable potion. Now, in lane, you're just waiting for level 2, as this is when you'll have both your W and E. You want to jump forward with W and look to land your chain on the enemy ADC. If you do, just drop Ignite and look to all in if your ADC is following you. Don't worry if you don't get the kill, as now the enemy ADC is low enough that it's hard for them to even last hit. Once your cooldowns are back up, look for the same combo. Your chain does so much damage with 1 point, combined with how easy it sets up your ADC to land their damage, means you'll often just get a kill if you can land your chain. However, laning isn't your main strength. You really want to look for any opportunities to roam, as your ganks are insane. The fact that you can both W for crazy mobility and E for a super long route means your ganks are way more successful than most support roams. I mean, how often would supports head back to lane after this? But nope, top lane is overextended, so let's just quickly go there for another free kill, snowballing all our lanes before anyone hits level 6. And this gets much worse once you're level 6, as you can mimic your W to gap close from multiple screens away. Combine this with Everfrost, the first item you'll buy, and what you can do is land your E, then as the route expires, land your Everfrost to root them again, move out of their range to buy time for your teammates and cooldowns, then re-engage and finish them off. Or alternatively, you can actually just W forward, land your Everfrost first to root them, which then sets you up to land a guaranteed E. She has a very unique teamfight style, where often you want to position aggressively, almost zoning the enemy, as by jumping in, you threaten the back line, but can always jump back, causing them to be confused and slow to react to objectives your team's taking. Sometimes this will backfire, or you just won't be able to play aggressive against certain team compositions, in which case you just follow up with your team, focusing down the same targets, ideally with one of your carries throughout the fight. On top of Everfrost, another key item is Zanya's, as it lets you engage onto enemies, land a chain to root them, then just Zanya's so the enemy can't focus you while they get CC. For summoner spells, you take Flash Ignite. For runes, we go with Dark Harvest, as it will scale better into team fights than Electrocute. Additionally, we take Relentless Hunter to help us roam faster. One unique rune is Time Warp Tonic, which we take as it synergizes with the refillable potion we'll be buying every game. For skills, you either start E or W based on whether you're invading as a team or not. You then skill the other once you hit level 2, and Q level 3. From there, max W first, then Q, then E, taking a point in your ult when you can. For items, you rush Everfrost, then Sork Boots into Zanya's. These form your core you want every game. Try to fit in a Dark Seal as early as you can, and then upgrade it into a Magi's whenever whenever you start getting fed. The most common endgame build looks like this. Moving on, we have Fiddlesticks top, who's being played by a Korean grandmaster who was actually challenger until just this week. It's worth noting, this player does actually play Fiddlesticks mid as his secondary role, but top is the primary. This is quite the hidden pick, as it's only been played 10,658 times in the past 2 weeks. That's 0.15% of all games worldwide. The laning strategy is incredibly simple, yet effective. All you have to do is stand in the middle of the minions, and whenever the enemy gets within its range, hit W. It will be impossible for any champion to out-trade you at level 1 when you do this. That is, unless they have crowd control to interrupt your W. A key mechanic to know is that Fiddlesticks W will refund 60% of its remaining cooldown if it's fully channeled. Into these matchups, you have to play around your fear. Fiddlesticks has 2 ways to fear, either just by using your Q or by using your Q's passive, where if you're out of combat and not seen for 2.5 seconds, your next damaging ability will fear. Into matchups that can cancel your W channel, such as Pantheon, who has his W stun, you have 2 choices. First, you can use your fear aggressively, but you have to back off before it expires so they can't re-engage on you. Or you hold your fear and wait for them to waste their crowd control on you, after which you fear them into your W. Otherwise, the main gameplay of Fiddlesticks top looks like this, where you're literally spamming W on the opponent as they hit you with all their abilities, wondering what to do. Again, try to fight near enemy minions so you get additional healing. The only other thing to look out for is once you're level 6, wait for the enemy to pull out their crowd control on cooldown, then just ult on top of them so they can't cancel it. Besides that, you'll be spamming your heal and other abilities as normal. The thing is though, Fiddlesticks top isn't about stomping your lane opponent. If you take a look at the top ranked player, you'll see he only averages 4.6 CS a minute, which is basically half of normal challenger top laner. Instead, you want to constantly look for opportunities to roam on mid. The sheer amount of crowd control Fiddlesticks has in his kit, combined with his ultimate, makes it free kills every time. In fact, sometimes you don't even need your ultimate. Just base crowd control in your kit is often enough to get things done. You also constantly want to be looking out for chances to teleport to bot lane. The main goal of this pick is to snowball your other lanes rather than just win your own. One great thing about this pick is how it plays when your team is behind. Often when losing, it means the enemies will be pushing towers, and this makes it super easy to land an ult over the wall on them for a takedown. In fact, that's the main strength of this strategy. You neutralize the enemy top laner, snowball your teammates, then even when you're behind, you're just insanely overpowered in teamfights regardless. For summoner spells, you take flash teleport. For runes, you actually go aftershock with a more tanky setup. This is so you can survive any initial burst and then sustain it all back with W. For skill order, you go W level 1, Q level 2 for fears, and then E. You max W first, Q second, and E last, taking a point in your ult whenever you can. The build is again tanky, opting for Jock Show into steel caps then Zanya's. Because of the playstyle, you often won't have enough gold to build past this, but if you do, get a Banshee's Veil into Void Staff. Also, feel free to pick up an Oblivion Orb for anti-healing if you need it after your first item. And for our 5th off-meta pick, we have none other than Top Shaco. The current highest ranked Top Shaco main is a Korean player who has 726 LP in Grandmaster with a 58% win rate. The Top Shaco is only played in 0.34% of games worldwide in the past 2 weeks, so he's completely under the radar. The strategy begins at level 1, where you want to skill into your boxes and place them at choke points in the top side of the map to scout for invades by the enemy. You can devote up to 3 boxes to this. However, save the next 2 boxes to place at the red buff if your jungler is starting topside, which we recommend telling him to do. This gives them a super strong leash where they take no damage and you don't even have to be there as your boxes do the work for you. The laning is incredibly simple. All you do is place a box in the middle of the wave. This will both push the wave and CS for you while preventing the enemy to be able to walk near you as the box acts as protection. In fact, the best Shaco tops always have low CS numbers, such as 4.3 per minute. You don't really want to be staying in lane much. Use your boxes to push to then give you a timing window to roam, either looking to gank mid or just react to fights nearby. Since, to be honest, your laning is weak, you often want to look for opportunities to cut the wave. To do this, after you clear a wave, look to use your Q to jump over a wall and get in between the towers. This lets you quickly wave clear without having to lane against the enemy and puts you in a great position to roam after. Once an outer top tower falls, you can even do this without having to go in between towers. If the enemy is pushed up, just go far behind them and cut the wave there. This concept is key to being able to handle any bad matchups. Now, your goal isn't just to roam. You also want to push so you can lure the enemy team to gank you. Consider any gank on you as a win. The combination of Shaco's mobility and stealth with his clone and boxes means it's incredibly hard for you to die. In fact, you often aren't trying to kill anyone when they gank you, and instead are aiming to waste as much of their time as possible, freeing up your team to take advantages elsewhere. One really cool tactic you can use as well is to solo Rift Herald. Just push a wave, then deceive over the wall. The key is to stack your boxes at the entrance of the Rift Herald. You then use your ultimate to take down the Herald really fast with your clone. If anyone tries to come stop you, they fall for your trap, activating all of your boxes, pretty much guaranteeing their death. A big part of this strategy though is that you get to build AP and scale into teamfights, which can be hard to accomplish in other roles. I mean, the fight starts with Jarvan getting feared by a box. Shaco then deceives to go invisible, baiting Jarvan's EQ and ulting, which blocks Ashe's ultimate. He then places a box down, and once the enemy destroys his clone, that pops and fears them all and starts doing massive damage. Now the box he places activates, cleaning the fear, and just like that, Shaco single-handedly won this fight basically 1v3. Getting your clone to explode is vital to this strategy. One trick is, if you've ulted, pay attention to when your clone will expire. Just before it does, put it right before its max range from you. Then deceive on the enemy, and right as you get to them, make sure your clone gets outside of max range so it snaps back to you. Now, usually the enemy has to destroy the clone for it to pop, but if you time it well, it will then expire, which pops it anyways. You can see how, just with the clone exploding, an E and ignite, this 100 to 0 is a level 15 Lux. Keep in mind, getting low in health before a team fight isn't always a bad thing, as once you ult, your clone is the same amount of health, meaning it's even easier for it to be destroyed and explode, swinging the fight in your favor. For summoner spells, you need to go ignite and teleport. You don't need flash due to your Q and escapability your ult and boxes provide. For runes, you go with a standard arcane comet page. This is because it's guaranteed to land on feared targets, but also because the cooldown gets reduced when enemies are damaged. So it has really good synergy with boxes, as it resets the cooldown really fast. For skill order, start W, then Q level 2, and E level 3. There's two different skill orders you have to decide from. You either max E first and W second. As a general rule, you max E first when facing squishy compositions, as this will give you way more burst damage against them. Maxing W when facing tankier compositions where you need more sustained DPS. For items, always start Doran's Ring and 2 health potions. From there, rush Leandry's along with Boots of Lucidity. You then have 2 builds options. If you want to go pure damage, run this build that's most commonly used by Pink Ward, a Grandmaster Shaco top player from North America. Horizon Focus actually has crazy synergy with Shaco's boxes, as it will activate the 10% damage increase. If you want to be insanely annoying, go with the top Korean player's build. Here, you rush Cosmic Drive and Zanya's after your core items. You'll need a Void Staff after, and the last item is completely situational and up to you. Cosmic Drive provides you with a massive amount of raw ability haste, while it also gives you a movement boost based on how long you've damaged enemies. Your boxes guarantee you'll get near max stacks, so you'll have both low cooldowns and fast movement speed. Combine that with a Zanya's, and you're both incredibly annoying and hard to kill. And there you go. You now know 5 of the most powerful off-meta picks being used in the highest ranks worldwide. Now, if you want to find out how to not only use these picks, but also any role or champion to start ranking up fast, then you need our service at skillcapped.com. At Skillcapped, we focus on the things that actually help you climb ranks and simplify them so they're easy to understand. If you're feeling stuck where you just can't rank up no matter how hard you try, then Skillcapped is the solution you've been looking for. We have the most extensive collection of premium courses tailored for every role. Still skeptical? Don't worry, as you can try out Skillcapped completely risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using Skillcapped, you get your money back, no questions asked. You can unlock this game-changing opportunity right now through the link below. So what are you waiting for? Click the link to get the rank you've always wanted. Alright, and that will wrap things up. We here at Skillcapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.